Live throughout the world and throughout the country. Here tonight, episode 42, live streaming on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. We're also on YouTube Music now. I am your host, the Real Deal Joel Davis, former MMA fighter, professional wrestler, motivational speaker, and now currently podcaster, promoter, and stand-up comedian. We have a special show for you tonight. We have one of the mainstays. When I say mainstay, I mean she's a mainstay with Keeping It Real Comedy. She was on a bunch of the shows, many of the shows, back in the year of 2025. She's a stand-up comedian out of the state of Rhode Island. She's been up and down in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. She's a very funny female comedian. She's a school teacher by day and comedian by night. Keeping It Real Comedy. She was the host on April 24 in Rhode Island at the big show in Cranston, Rhode Island. June 6, she came back as a feature in Massachusetts and Rainham on the outdoor stage in Seafood and Cones. On July 11, she came back. She hosted again in Massachusetts and Rainham on the outdoor stage. July 31, she hosted it again. She was back in Rhode Island, in Cranston, Rhode Island at Morosco's Bar and Grill. And then on August 8, she featured in Rainham, Massachusetts at the Seafood and Cones. And that wasn't it. August 22nd, she came back and she filled another spot in Rainham, Massachusetts, killing it every time, always being a professional and looking the talent that she is, always looking it and always being very dependable. And I am so happy to have her here tonight. Let's welcome Naomi Green. Naomi, welcome to the show.
Hey, Joel, how are you?
We're doing it. Yeah. It's great to have you here on the show. Naomi, let's start right up. Where did you grow up and where are you staying now?
Well, I grew up a little bit of everywhere. My dad was in the Navy, so I've been on both sides of the Atlantic, both sides of the Pacific, in the middle of the Pacific, and I am in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Right now. Yeah.
Wow. That's I was pretty sure you were out of the state of Rhode Island, but you've been, traveling with your dad being, a military man, and that's the other thing I wanted to mention real quick for the audience. We have some people coming in here live. We appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Naomi is a school teacher, and she also is a comedian, but she has a very loving family. She has her husband John, who supports her very well to all the shows. He's right there for her, and God rest the soul of her dad. He'd go to the shows too. I met Naomi Green back at the open mic show at the Boomerangs Roadhouse in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Back in the days when I met Naomi and her husband John at an open mic at John Perrotta show back in the 2022, 2023, 2024 open mic shows back then. I believe it was 2023 I met you, Naomi, back there at the open mic show. That show was infamous for the waitress to walk right by you, and the stage was kind of like right near the bar. Yeah, that was a crazy open mic.
Yeah.
And that's where we originally met, and that's when I seen you perform for the first time, and I said, this lady has something. And then when my promotion opened in 2025, that's basically how we brought you in as a spot, like a mainstay. And I just want to get this clear to the audience right now, because there'll be hundreds of people watching the replay, and there's many people watching us live now. Naomi had all these spots. Part of the reason why is she's such a professional, and she's so hilarious, but she also she dressed professionally. She was very dependable. There was no hesitation when I gave her a book, and she was, yes, I have it, and yes, she was there. And just so everybody that knows that Naomi is a very good comedian to have on any show. Naomi, are you still active now? What have you been doing lately in comedy?
I've been just doing a few things, just local comedy club and things like that. I had to dial it down just a little. I have 4 kids.
That's right.
It got busy at the end of the school year trying to do sports and end of the year activities and do shows all at the same time. So families first. So I'm getting back out there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I get that. And we got 6 shows just in 2025 with Keeping It Real Comedy. And I know you were working around in Rhode Island and also Connecticut. And before we get to a show that I wanted to mention in Connecticut that you'd done at the casino, I wanted to ask you, when was your first show, Naomi? What open mic did you do? What year was it, and where was it? Do you remember the year and where it was?
So I started, like a lot of people during COVID, online.
Oh, okay.
So I did some open mics online, and then once it got where we could go back out, I went to, there was a bar in Providence called The Salon. They're not open anymore, but I went there and Askew for open mics. I would just go once a week, maybe, and just test it out, see what was going on.
I got
yeah.
you. So that was the year 2020.
I would say, 2020, and then I started going out in like 2021. So okay. I've been doing it on and off for a few years now. Life happens, so I take it. It goes back a little bit, and then I get back on.
I understand exactly what you mean, Naomi, and that we had said that before on other podcasts that it's not easy. Sometimes depending on what your life is and what you have going on, it's not easy to be able to go 100%. But you never lose the passion, and I know you love comedy, and you've always performed 100% at any of the shows that I had promoted last year. You have a comment already coming in. We have one of the listeners saying she's a lovely lady. Someone just said here, so just passing that on to you. And so you had a big show not too long ago at the casino. It was a bringer show. I believe it was out there at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. The bringer show. Tell the audience about the bringer show and how was that show?
Oh, it was a really good show. It was I had like 5 of my friends plus my husband.
Yep.
Come out and support me. So it was fun. I think the thing about bringer shows is you never know the audience, right? You know that they're there to support their friend, but you don't know what kind of comedy they enjoy. So sometimes it's difficult to please everybody, but I feel like it's also an amazing opportunity because we're all so unique, and it gets kind of thrown together with, like, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's like the fun part about bringer shows. Because you never know what's going to happen.
No, You don't, because basically the audience and a bringer show, if the audience doesn't understand what that means, a bringer show means that the promoter will require you to bring a certain amount of individuals. Sometimes it's 4 people, it can be 3 people, it could be up to 6 people that you'd have to bring to get that spot on the show. And usually the audience comprised of all the bringers, really. So it like Naomi said, it's definitely a step up from an open mic by all means, but it's not an easy show to do, especially when you're traveling out to the state of Connecticut and hoping that everybody shows up. Otherwise, guess what? You're not getting on the show. And that's just a fact, Jack. Naomi, I got a poster here, and I know you'll be able to see it. It's April 24. You were here as the feature. We had Cameron Dewan. Do you remember that big show? We had a big house that night, and Cameron Dewan was our feature, and you were the host, and you really rocked it that night. The late great Jim Biggie Smalls, rest in peace, was on that show. Jack Lombardo. That's right. Cameron Dewan flew in from L.A. We mentioned Jack Lombardo. You were the host. Naomi Green was the host. And the headliner, that guy right there, the real deal, Joel Davis. That was a big crowd right there. We came back, Naomi. We came back on July 31st, back to Cranston, Rhode Island. And you were pleasantly surprised to find out that you were hosting the show again. But the feature was the sassy feature, Andy, one of your favorites. You worked with her. And you also had some other comedians come in. Jack Lombardo came back, and Mike Krozak, a blind man who was very funny, legitimately blind, at that show on July 31. Great shows. And let's talk a little bit about the shows in Rhode Island, the vibe and the audience, and talk about the Keeping It Real shows, please, about in Rhode Island, Naomi, how you felt coming up to it and what you thought of the show in general.
Oh, I enjoy it. The crowd's always really supportive and receptive, which is fantastic. Everybody knows that they're going to have a fun time. The comics that come out are always incredible and super funny. I love that Jack, I have to up my game, wardrobe, especially when he's performing. He's very dapper, and I love that. And I love how everybody brings their own energy, and it's just so much fun. Andy, I love her. She's fantastic. I love how she loves everybody in the crowd. Which is really cute. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun doing the shows. The crowd's always really nice. everybody's just has a good time. It's a nice, relaxing, funny time. That's the best part.
Funny time, the best part. And then, and life is tough. Don't let anybody fool you out there, people. Life is tough. We have to keep on going, keep our heads up, and laughter, like they say, is sometimes the best medicine. Naomi, to be honest with you, I'll have to tell you, though, I want to tell you this, and I've heard this from 10, maybe 12 different comedians, and not just because I promoted Keeping It Real Comedy, but a lot of the comedians had said, Naomi, and I don't know if you agree, that the shows that I promoted, they had some of the funnest times at the show, behind the scenes and on the stage, and I really, that really, gives me like that pat in the back to keep it going and come back, because we are coming back sometime here in 2026. We're looking at a Massachusetts and Rhode Island venue, and don't think that you're not on the list for a call on that one. And I'm just saying, though, it's so nice, Naomi, to hear the comedians say that they really enjoy working with Keeping It Real Comedy. Let's talk about Rainham, Massachusetts, Seafood and Cones. Like I said, you were hosting, you were featuring, you were a mainstay with Keeping It Real Comedy. You had the most bookings with Keeping It Real Comedy alongside DJ Robbie Fresh, and he was a DJ, so we needed him. But otherwise, you and him were the top. And those shows outside, the clean shows, I'm sure the 4 children. And by the way, I'll be honest with you, your children are the most behaved children. And you had John, your husband. I even seen the pet dog was there a couple times. But I mean, that show was so unique because it was a clean show that you could bring the children. I mean, there was ice cream and everything else. Those shows were great. Outdoor shows at Seafood and Cones. Unfortunately, it was sold to new owners. Otherwise, we were coming back this year. But we'll be talking with the new owners in the near future. But just so you know. But Naomi and in the audience, this is kind of funny. This is hilarious. A little bit of a hilarious little bringing it back in time. And I want to ask Naomi, because she was there personally for at least 2 of these 3 incidents. I'm going to mention 3 incidents to you that are more hilarious, Naomi, than anything else, okay? And tell me what you remember of them, because I couldn't wait to have you on the show to ask you this. There are 3 incidents that happened on the outdoor shows in 2025, Keeping It Real Comedy and Seafood and Cones. The first one, were you there, and what do you know of this one? A crazy woman, they call her Crazy Mary, charges the stage at Jack Lombardo and yells, "We can't hear you on the microphone." Were you there for that? I see you smiling.
Was that the one where he was singing?
I believe that when the woman rushed the stage, I believe that was, yes, I think it was when he was singing, yes.
Yeah, because that was the first night. I think that was the first show, and the speakers that we had were not compatible with like an outdoor setting.
Yes.
And so she was sitting like to the side where the tables were, not right in front of the stage. And she was very.
I mean, there was someone that had said that they observed her maybe being intoxicated too. I mean, you never know. I mean, she did rush the stage on Jack. He was kind of startled. But those are the funny memories, Naomi, that I have. I think it's just great to look back at something like that and think, and then I talked to Jack when he got off the stage. He said, I don't know what that woman was doing. She was charging me, like, running up to me and yelling, but just great memories. And it's so great to be able to laugh, after you see something like that happen. And there was nothing we could do, like you said, with the speakers, but that was a great show. And and like you had said earlier, you can't please everyone.
Right.
And she still had a good time, but she was just she wanted to I think maybe just get up close to Jack Lombardo. Maybe, who knows?
He was wearing some dapper clothes and his shoes.
That's right.
His fit is fire. So
that's right, Naomi. Naomi Green's here tonight, episode 42. I'm your host, the Real Deal Joel Davis. She's a stand-up comedian. She's hitting the states of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. She's done the casino. She's been with Keeping It Real Comedy. She's been up and down in Rhode Island. She's featured shows. She's a host. She's a school teacher by day, stand-up comedian by night. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we are talking about some of the funny, hilarious incidents that happen on those outdoor shows, those very unique outdoor shows, Seafood and Cones. The second of third of the 3 incidents, Naomi, is the Pete Malzone attack by the kids. Big Pete Malzone sitting on a stool, the heavy-set elderly man. He was sitting on and the children all got around the back. There was like a softball team or something there that night for the show.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was that baseball, like youth baseball team that showed up. It was like their last game of the season or something, so they were celebrating. But it wasn't just him. It was also the gentleman who was blind.
Oh, they were going after him too, Mike?
Yeah, well, because he couldn't really see them, and then they kept asking him.
He couldn't really see him.
Right, because like
He's
he
blind.
could see
He's
like
blind. He's blind.
no, but he could see like a shadow. He wasn't 100%. So the kids were like trying to gauge with him like what he could see, what he couldn't see, because they were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And because it was like the sun's going down, it's getting darker. So it was like so. It was interesting with that because again, you never know. At a place like Seafood and Cones, who your audience is going to be, and your audience is constantly changing because it's an outdoor restaurant.
It was
ice cream.
Yeah, it was every Friday night throughout the summer. Yeah.
But like the best part is that night it just happened to be a bunch of 8-year-olds. Like, that was
80% of the crowd was a bunch of 8-year-olds, and you know if we remember right, you know Pete's listening in tonight. He's a big fan of the show, so I'm sure you got a kick out of that story. And thank you for sharing what you remembered. But if you remember that show, there was no one as popular as you. You said some kind of word to the children; they knew what it meant, and they were popping for you. I'm like, look at Naomi Green. The fan favorite tonight, and being a school teacher, you knew what to say to them, and they loved you. I don't know. Did they? You never know.
No, I mean that's just the thing. Like I know enough like brain rot terms that Gen Z and Gen Alpha uses. So like just yelling out chicken jockey, that's it. They just love it, and it's sad because. Like that was my biggest laugh, and my claps was just yelling things from Minecraft, quoting Jack Black. It's that's the highlight of my life right there.
Oh, that's great, though. That's great. Naomi Green's here tonight. She's joining us on Wrestling with Comedy. We're talking about some of the funny times behind the scenes, so to speak, at the Seafood and Cones restaurant shows. We ran 13 shows there last summer, 2025, Keeping It Real Comedy, and Naomi was a part of 4 of those shows. She was there 4 different times, and what great performances and what great memories from that show. We got one last one for you, Naomi. It's one that was it got a little bit dangerous in a way when the young man who resembled Gary Coleman, Arnold, was throwing rocks at me. I was on stage at the time. I got hit with a rock to the knee. Do you remember that? And being a school teacher, what do you think? Was that just an attention seeker, or what do you think that was all about? Did you remember that?
Yeah. Oh no, I do, because my kids were there, and they were like, what is this kid doing? And the thing is like he was popping in and out of all of our sets, but for whatever reason, Joel, he really liked you so much that he just wanted to throw the little pebbles at you for whatever reason. We never did figure out who his parents were or how he got there.
That's right. That's funny.
We did ask multiple times, but nobody claimed him. So that was awkward. You know,
I had heard he was dropped off there. I mean, which doesn't sound too safe. I mean, he was. I don't know. How old do you think he was? 8 to 10 years old. I don't think he knew any better.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't that old. You know, I know he wasn't. He was within the range of my kids, but yeah, it was just unreal how disrespectful he was, even when he was told,
exactly.
You can't throw things.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. That's so funny. I am so glad that I asked you, Naomi, on that, because it's been something I've been thinking about. And I'm like, geez, am I that hated on stage? I mean, how many comedians can say they would perform in stand-up comedy and someone was throwing rocks at them? I mean, you don't hear that too much. That's a unique situation.
Yeah, I mean, normally it might be a beer, maybe a French fry, but pebbles from a child is that's something else.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Naomi, I got a question for you, and I asked some of my guests. It's okay. I just want to ask you this, and I love your answers because they're very detailed, and this is great. Wrestle with Comedy, episode 42. Naomi Green's here tonight, stand-up comedy, and she loves stand-up comedy. She's a stand-up comedian, and she is coming from the state of Rhode Island, but she previously was all around because her dad was in the military. She was on all around the world and the country, and she's here tonight with us. Naomi, what do you like the most about stand-up comedy? And then on the other side, what do you dislike the most about stand-up comedy business and entertainment? The business side.
I like that I get to do something I really enjoy and experiment with the crowd, you know, because even though I can have a set and stick to it, every time I do a show, it lands differently. And I really enjoy trying to figure out how to replicate it, like for the best time that it, like my joke hit, right? And sometimes, you know, the crowd just isn't with it, or it's not the right crowd. You know, it's finding my audience, but also being able to read the room. And I love that I can interact with the crowd when I tell a joke, because in most cases, as an entertainer, you don't really interact with the crowd as much as you can with comedy. And I love that I can, you know, call out my husband in the middle of a set, or like some unsuspecting poor soul, you know, sitting in the front row or something, you know. So it's really nice to be able to have that, what's the word? That experience, I think. The hardest part about comedy is the people. It's the crowd too, right? Because you just, especially starting out, and I don't have a large following, right? As a lot of, you know, like the A-list comedians and things like that, who can pack a crowd who knows exactly what they're getting. When you get booked for a show, sometimes I don't even know the other comic, and I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know what type of crowd it is. And I am older. I'm married. I have kids. I've had, you know, life. So it's a different dynamic when I joke about those kinds of things, and the crowd might be relatively in their 20s, or early 30s, and they're not there yet, but you know, they can still laugh. They may not laugh as hard as some of the other people, but that's the hardest part, is really finding my my voice, and really sticking to it, and create that following of people who will be like, oh, I'll go to your next show, or when's your next show? In that aspect, that's the hard part. I think everybody else that I've met so far has been really fantastic business wise. So I haven't had any problems yet, but I haven't like really fully expanded out either. So
Yeah, that all makes sense, and you know, it's all about, you know, the material being relevant with the audience that you might have, and you never know, and that's just the way it is. And at any show, an open mic show, a paid ticket show, a big show, a smaller show, that's just the way it's going to be, and all that does make sense. Real quick, I wanted to ask you a question about your top favorite shows that you've been on, you know, that you really think you hit it out of the park. You know, your top 3 shows, where they were, and what state, and maybe who you worked with, real quick, for the audience. And then on that part 2 on that, Naomi, any advice for anybody who just wants to start up in stand-up comedy, especially you know, a male or a female?
I think my top show would have to be at the Seafood and Cones, the first time my kids were able to actually see me perform.
That's great.
Because they have supported me so much in the last few years, me going to open mics, and my bigs, taking care of my littles, you know, so, because everything's at night. So, you know, some nights I'm not home for dinner or bedtime, but they all are like, have a great time, good luck, you know, we love you. And for them to actually see me on stage and see what I really do, and hear other people laugh, was like the biggest moment for me.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
Because it really, you know, to be able to perform for your family, that's a huge deal. Just because they've waited so long to see me, but they can't, because it's bars, or things like that. There's age restrictions.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
And the comedy's not appropriate for little kids.
It's not. Most shows are 21 plus. So that'd be your number one show. Did you have another show or maybe another two shows you wanted to mention real quick?
Yeah, I think my first Zoom show during COVID, it was with a nonprofit ASAP. They're based out of DC, and they work with veterans and caregivers, spouses, because my husband is actually a disabled Navy vet. So I was able to take a class with him and do my first stand-up show, and then just have my friends and family from all over be able to watch and see me bomb, pretty much, because that's what I feel. Like as a starting comedian, you watch your first stuff and you're like, ooh, that was bad.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, right. But like, it was just nice to have their support, to really be able to be like, hey, you're doing it. You actually did it. Oh my gosh. And then I think, I think just any of the shows, that I've just been able to do, with John Parada. I've done shows with him. I've done, Brian and the Comedy, Connection. And so it's really the opportunities that I've been able to get. And people just email me and be like, hey, can you do a show, whenever. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Thank you for thinking of me. It's just,
Yes. Because there's a lot of comedians out there, and there's not that many spots. So to be thought of, it is a big deal. There's so many comedians out there, and so the audience knows there's a lot of comedians in New England area across the country that are looking for a spot. When you get, not so much an open mic, but that step up to a show that people are buying tickets and they're there for comedy. Because on an open mic show, let's be honest, not everybody's there for comedy, and they might even be a little disturbed that there's comedy going on, and they're not really going to be listening. The televisions are going to be loud. The waitress or waiters are going to be walking by you, like we mentioned earlier about that open mic that was very difficult back then in the Boomerangs Roadhouse in West Warwick, Rhode Island. That was one that was infamous for that. So like Naomi said, to get thought of is a really big deal, and she just brings the pleasant vibes, and I'm just telling you the way it is. Listen, folks, you know how I am. I keep it real, people, and I'm just telling you, she's just look at her. I mean, you can just tell by just looking at her, very pleasant lady, and I've given her a lot of opportunities, and I'm glad I gave her those opportunities, and I'm planning on giving her more opportunities in the future. Real quick, we got about 7 minutes left to the program, the live stream here tonight, Naomi. Real quick, before we get to dealing the names, we can make this quick one for me. Any real quick advice for someone starting up?
You got to do it. I think the biggest issue is a lot of people have a fear of, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not funny. And sometimes you don't have to be funny. You just have to be able to deliver something funny.
Excellente. Right? Yeah, excellente. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. We have dealing the names here tonight with Naomi Green. She's coming here out of the state of Rhode Island. Stand-up comedian, school teacher by day, like I like to say, stand-up comedian by night, and a great mom and a wife for a husband. She's all around class act. Dealing the names with Naomi Green. I'm your host, the Real Deal Joel Davis. The first name on your list, Naomi, I'd like you to give me one word or one statement, is Nikki Glazier.
Fabulous.
Okay, very good. Very good. Number two on dealing the names. We have 5 names here. Number 2 is Los Angeles comedian and actor Cameron DeWan.
Oh, love him. He's so sweet.
Very good. Very good. You worked with him.
Yeah, he is. He's really funny. Like just hysterical.
Right on. Mm-hmm. Dealing the names with Naomi Green here tonight on Wrestling with Comedy. We're here every Tuesday night and every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit like. We do appreciate it here at Wrestling with Comedy every Tuesday, every Thursday night. The third name on Dealing the Names, Naomi, I seen you smiling there on that one, is Polish Power, Paul Kwazowski.
Oh, I love Paul.
Also, he does Archie Bunker now.
Yeah, I mean, you
gotta love Paul.
Just, I just want to rub his head. The bald. So shiny.
Number 4 on Dealing the Names is Carol Burnett.
My idol. I met her once.
Wow.
And I was shaking because it was completely unexpected. And I couldn't even talk. I was like, oh, love you.
Wow, that's funny. What state was that, if you don't mind us asking real quick?
So believe it or not, I was 19 and I had gone to see an off-Broadway show starring Christian Slater with my twin, who is obsessed with Christian Slater. This was way back in the day, in like 99. And we waited backstage for him to come out so he would sign our autographs. And so the door opens and like some of the cast is leaving, and all of a sudden Carol Burnett walked out. She was there watching him that night, and I panicked. Like, just like, oh, I love you. She was not expecting twin girls to just be like, oh, hello,
That's a great story. Naomi Green's here tonight, Wrestle with Comedy. She actually met the great Carol Burnett in person. How many people can say that? Number 5, the last name on Dealing the Names here tonight on Wrestle with Comedy is the late Jim Biggie Smalls.
Oh, of him in his big cock shirt. Like,
it's
just that t-shirt. I still remember that t-shirt. Like, he was really just a great guy and super funny, and I'm really grateful, and I feel really blessed that I was able to do the show with him, his last show, and just talking that night about how we just don't know. And I remember him like, we just don't know about time. And he's like, and I'm going to just do it. And I was like, yes, I was. Yes, you are. Because he was going to get like a hat or a shirt made. He was getting something made. And I was like, I need one of those. So, but yeah, he was really funny.
He was, I don't know if you know this, but he was a very good friend of mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Very close friend. We were so fortunate, like Naomi Green said, it was this show right here. We were able to work with Jim Biggie Smalls one last time on April 24th, 2025. Jim Biggie Smalls killed it. Your host was Naomi Green for Keeping It Real Comedy. On April 26th, Jim Biggie Smalls died tragically. God rest his soul, Jim Biggie Smalls. And when he was saying goodbye that night, I said to him, Naomi, I said, Jim, I said, where you going, brother? I said, you leaving already? And he just said to me, he says, I got to go. You know, it's kind of eerie the way he said it. I got to go, he said. And on an off note real quick, Jim Biggie Smalls, I think you know this, Naomi, I was leaving for Texas the next night. I got the news in Texas when I landed in Austin, Texas, that he had passed away from Paul. Jim Biggie Smalls, if I had stayed in Austin, Texas, I don't know if you know this is going public right now, Jim Biggie Smalls was going to be the new promoter. We had talked about it a couple of days prior. That's what I thought of him, you know. God rest his soul. We got one more for you, Naomi. It's Wrestling with Comedy, Naomi Green, episode 42. Thank you all for joining us. Finish this statement, Naomi. We got this one as a segment on the program, and here it goes.
Mm-hmm.
When I got into stand-up comedy, I really wanted to
prove my mom wrong and show her that American jokes can be funny.
That's a great way of putting it. And we got someone saying heaven has another angel with comedy for Jim Biggie Smalls. We appreciate that. We got someone else saying, I seen you, Naomi Green. You're a great comedian. Someone had said there too.
Aw, thank you.
So we got some people here tonight. We got about 1 minute left, and Naomi is very grateful for everybody listening, and so am I. I'm your host, The Real Deal, Joel Davis. You can see the $1 million smile on her face. She's Naomi Green. She's coming out of the state of Rhode Island. She is a stand-up comedian. Don't be surprised if you see her soon on one of the posters and flyers, because she's hilarious. If you get a chance to see her live, don't miss her, Naomi Green. This is Wrestling with Comedy. I am your host, The Real Deal, Joel Davis. And until next time, folks and people, keep it real at all costs. Good night, everybody.